You loved when Neito spent the night at your house. He was always so warm and affectionate before he drifted off, playing big spoon to your smaller body. The only problem was after he fell asleep. He sleep-talked. Not always, but sometimes. It wouldn't actually be a problem if it weren't for the fact his sleep-talking consisted of nothing but bad-mouthing Class 1A. Neito always tried to keep his bickering and overzealous hatred of Class 1A to a minimum around you, but it spilled out uncontrollably in his sleep. You woke early one morning to hear him gibbering away, sprawled out on his back and totally oblivious to the racket he was making as he slept. You groaned, hoping to keep hold of your half-asleep state long enough to let you nod off again, but he was twittering away about Kirishima being the bad bootleg version of Tetsu Tetsu. You tried to go back to sleep, but it was no use. You sat up. "Neito," you groaned loudly, wiping your hand down your face in groggy disbelief. You tried to shush him, hoping to fall back asleep once he was quiet, but he seemed particularly chatty this morning. You poked him in the side of the stomach, but he did not wake. Sighing, you flopped down against your pillow and waited, hoping by some miracle you could zone his voice out, turning it into white noise so you could fall back asleep. You listened to him rambling for a while, cursing yourself for liking the sound of his voice. He wasn't going to become white noise anytime soon then. You listened, growing more and more vexed that you had less and less time to sleep before it was time to get up. Then you heard Neito say something that melted your groggy, grumpy heart.
"Quack, oh no, quack. I'll lacerate hand if you touch Angel."
Violent threats aside, he was dreaming about protecting you. Suddenly, you didn't mind that he was sleep-talking. Feeling a swell of affection for Neito, you sat up and leaned over him, then pressed a soft, happy kiss against his cheek. It was a shame then, really, that the sensation of you kissing him translated to something different inside Neito's dreamscape. Suddenly, with a great jerk and the launch of a fist, Neito shot up in his sleep.
"Eat fist, you tape-spewing twit!"
His fist collided with the corner of your face. You collapsed backwards onto your pillow, swearing and cursing as you clutched your ear. "Neito!" you yelled. "Wake up! I'm not Zero, you violent sleep demon!" It didn't take long for Neito to rouse out of his bleary, semi-conscious state when he heard you yelling and whimpering about your face.
"Angel?"
He was confused until he realized what had happened. All at once he dove onto you, wrapping his arms around you tightly enough so that you couldn't move your hand to rub your cheek.
"I'm so sorry!"
With you on your back and Neito on his side, he rocked you gently as he tried to tend to your face. You wanted to stay mad at him, but he was mollycoddling you, and you absolutely loved it. Neito kissed your cheek, muttering,
"I'm sorry, Angel."
Enjoying his unabashed attention, you milked your minor injury for all it was worth. In a soft, hurt voice, you mumbled, "I was only trying to give you a good morning kiss." Neito wrapped his arms tighter around you, peppering kisses all over your face. He stroked your cheek with a finger.
"Next time, I'll sleep in a straitjacket, I swear."
If Neito slept in a straitjacket, there would be no chance of him cuddling you like this, so that wasn't going to happen. Instead, you suggested, "Maybe you could make me my favourite breakfast instead, since we're both up." Neito placed one last kiss to the bridge of your nose, then untangled himself from you so he could leap into action.
"Of course. Breakfast in bed it is."
You giggled as he scampered out of bed, looking wholeheartedly apologetic and ashamed. Neito was a lot of things, but a bad guy wasn't one of them. You could forgive him for a semi-conscious punch. Still, with any luck you could milk this into next week. Butler Neito at your service. Even better though, now you had the bed all to yourself.